Hi, Froyal here. Welcome to my studio. Right, I had some comments recently about a particular photo that I posted with these beautiful stencils made on the gel plate. Questions about colors and patterns and the stencils and my process. So I thought I'd do a video and share with you my process. Now, this is simple. This is stenciling on the gel plate 101. Very basic, very simple. I am making collage paper. So as long as you realize that, it's going to be fast, it's going to be sloppy, messy, there's going to be too much paint, there's going to be all sorts of actions happening that you wouldn't do if you were specifically making a standalone print. So I'm not doing that. I'm making collage paper. I'll be ripping up the paper and I'll be adding it to my project that I'm just launching at the moment. So it's a particular theme. It's an Art Deco theme. I'm creating collage papers to go in these inspiration packs. So this is what I'm going to be showing you, how I create these beautiful papers. I have a selection of paints. These are Reeves Fine Artist paints. They are very affordable. I get them from the warehouse stationery. It's a 5-minute walk for me. It's fantastic. I love them. They're beautiful. They work really well, and also they're affordable, so you're not going to stress about using too much paint. You don't want to start something like this if you're going to be concerned about using too much paint. So use affordable paint that you don't mind experimenting with. I'm using a range of these beautiful warm tones because, like I said, I'm working on a specific project that I would like to use the papers in a collage. So I have got iridescent copper, the bronze, and then I also have the rose madder, the rose red, and the deep madder. Also in the Liquitex brands, I have the alizarin crimson and the deep violet. Love these as well. The Liquitex basics are fabulous paints. They're more affordable than the higher quality artist ones. And if you're doing gel prints, really, these are fabulous. Not a problem at all. We are going to use one beautiful golden paint, and that is the iridescent bronze fine. You have to have this in your art kit. It's a magnificent color. Yes, it will set you back a few dollars, but well worth every penny. Okay, so I'm going to use some rice paper. I bought this off a Chinese website, wish.com, and I don't know what the paper's called because it was all in Chinese. My son came back from Shanghai and brought me some. I loved it. And then when I ran out, I had to source some for my own. I also have this parchment paper. I like the color of it. It's warm. You can, of course, use standard copy paper. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. And we're going to use a few other different textured papers as well. So I'm just going to put some of this beautiful deep violet on the gel plate and some of the rose red. Yum. Now, I know it's too much paint. I also have a roll-off sheet that I can roll the paint onto. You want to keep that because it makes a fabulous collage paper as well. Don't stress that there's too much paint on the gel plate. I like mine thick and chunky and textured. That's just how I am. Thick and chunky and textured. All right. What we're going to do first is create some solid background colors. Put the paint on the plate, put the paper down, and pull your print in a solid, beautiful background color. Oh my gosh, that's magnificent. Look at that. I just put those two tones on the gel plate. I didn't mix it too much. I just rolled it out a little bit, and there you go. Now, that is how I love the beautiful backgrounds and the colors. I like them with these abstract shapes in them. If you don't like that and you want yours more blended, then you go ahead and you blend it more on the gel plate. I personally love the abstract designs that can be created, so I don't blend it too much. This is our base color that we're then going to be adding stencils to. So don't stress out too much about it. Just put some colors down on the plate and create some prints. I'm not going to clean my plate in between because I'm using this range of beautiful tones that are all going to work together. So I'm just going to keep adding colors to the plate and get deeper in tone. What I personally like is to create dark on light and light on dark. So I'll create dark backgrounds and then put the beautiful bronze and copper or lighter tones on top in the stencils, or vice versa. Create light backgrounds and then add dark stencils. So that's my plan. That's what I'm going to do right now. Just gonna throw a little bit of copper in because it's beautiful and fun. This is the deep matter. Ooh, I like that. And then I might just stick a little bit of copper on it. I know you're probably screaming, that's way too much paint, and it probably is, but that's okay. There's not one way to rule them all. If you're creating art and you're working on your gel plate and it's beautiful and you're loving it, don't get stressed out on what you should or shouldn't be doing. Just make art. Look at that. Soaking through the rice paper in the parchment color. That's kind of fun. Oh, look at those rich tones. See how the copper has come through there in different shapes. Personally, I love that. I love having my beautiful prints with abstract shapes on them. Throwing a little bit of red in now, brighten that up, and that's just going to be gorgeous. I love the texture on it. I love the abstract designs. Baby, that's just beautiful. So have fun, create a heap of backgrounds so that you can then put some stencils on them. Look at that, just beautiful. So when it comes to stencils, I will get them from anywhere and everywhere. This is one of my favorites. This is a Stencil Girl stencil, and it has the particular pattern that I'm wanting to use for the theme of my project. I forget what that one's called. This one's called Patina and Lace. It's also a Stencil Girl stencil, and it is also one of my favorites. But then I will get them from the warehouse stationery. I will get them from Chinese websites, real cheap. They just take 3 weeks to come. I will get them from wherever I can find them. I don't know whose stencils these are, what names or brands, they don't faze me. The pattern is what matters. And because I'm working on a particular theme, these are the ones that I'll be using. I absolutely love using stencils because it's so instantaneous. Now, while your backgrounds are drying, have a look around to see what else you can use to print on. I like to use papers that haven't printed up as special as I'd like. This is a rice paper. I love using rice paper because it's soft and absorbent, but I will also use a ton of other papers as well. This one has been printed on twice and it's still like letting me down. I'm so not happy with that. So I'm going to put something on it to make it a little bit more exciting. I'm just going to try the bronze. Now you have to try things. You can't be scared for it to not look good or to get it wrong or to muck it up or whatever else your brain is telling you, because the only way you actually develop your creativity is by doing it. Mileage under the brush. You just have to be brave, try different ideas and see what works. My ideas don't always work successfully, but that's okay because I can always try again. So I'm putting this stencil straight down, bronze paint, stencil, and a piece of paper that's been printed on a couple of times that I'm not happy with. So we'll give it another go, see what we can make, see if it's a bit better. As you can see, I'm using a little bit more pressure here with a second roller because this paper has been printed on twice already. It's going to be a little resistant to absorbing those shapes and images of the paint, but it will concede, don't you worry. Let's see how that looks. Like I said, don't be stressed about it. You're making collage paper. If it doesn't work, just chuck it aside and use something else. It'll be okay. So that's that print. That's quite beautiful. I really don't mind that. That's worked a lot better than what was there before, right? Yeah, I'm thinking that's better. That one's working in the theme that I want. So yay, yippee, that's awesome. Now, when you take your stencil off, the image won't be as clear. Let's just put it on white. But it is going to be beautiful. So using the white copy paper creates another beautiful print that you can always go over a second time with another color or a different shape. And it's a great way of using up the paint. Nothing is ever wasted. Whatever you put on the paper can be used for collage paper, and you can just keep printing on it until you're happy. That's quite a nice print. That took all the paint off. Look at that, beautiful. And there's the print. That's quite nice. Subtle and soft. Not like me at all, but it's beautiful and it will work well for what I want. I like to experiment with other papers to see how they look, which is great. Don't get stressed out if something doesn't work exactly how you want. You can always add more layers to it. You can add different colors or different shapes. You can print right over the top. Try again. So this is the golden iridescent fine in a full body. You can see that it's more of an antique bronze, which is rather beautiful. Look at that. Oh, beautiful. Love it. I'm going to use that stencil again. And I'm going to put it on this piece of paper. Now, this is cardstock. It's a 200 GSM. So it's quite thick. It came in a pack of papers from the warehouse stationery. I just thought it was a beautiful color and it will work really nice with the antique bronze, especially for the project I'm working on. We'll just give it a little bit of extra pressure with the brayer to make sure that there's good contact with the paint through the stencil, and we'll see how we go. Look at that. That is absolutely beautiful. I love that pattern. I love the bronze on that. That is gorgeous. That's going to work well with my Art Deco theme. And that's fabulous. Now that's a really affordable way to create some beautiful collage paper, because these packs of cardstock are really very affordable. Forget what it cost exactly, but it really wasn't much, and it comes in a pack of 12 or 15 or 20 or something. And that's a really good way of making beautiful, unique collage paper quite affordably. The color looks beautiful with the other rich tones that I'm using. See how nice they sit together, those tones, those colors. That baby is just beautiful. The paint that's left on the plate now, I'm going to use some, this is cheap, like craft paper, probably scrapbooking type stuff. I'm just going to use a couple of pieces of this. See how it comes up. Like I said, we're making collage paper. It doesn't have to be perfect. We're using it in a different project. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. That'll work. So you want to experiment with all sorts of different papers, whatever you've got around. You've got a stack of craft papers in your drawers. Look at that. That's gorgeous. I love that. That works really well. And it takes a particular piece of craft paper that otherwise could be rather boring and dull and turns it into something far more special. Still using the golden bronze fine, and I just pulled out some more craft paper that I think is a bit boring. So I'm just going to put it on here. Look at that. It's pretty, but you know, it's pretty boring too. So we need to give that a little bit of new life. I forget what this stencil's called. I'll probably have to look it up because you'll ask me, I know. I call it my Art Deco stencil because that's what it looks like, but that's not what it's called. Look at that. That's fun. I like that. And of course, doing things like this, you get to use up different pieces of paper. I've got another piece of that again. So the craft paper that you're lying around, or the texture paper that you've got, pull it out and have a little play with stencils on your gel plate and create yourself some beautiful collage paper that will be unique for you. Look at that. That's pretty nice. That's not too bad. Now, the more textured and thicker your paper is, the less refined your print's going to be. But don't worry about that. Clearly I like this color, it's at the bottom. Don't worry about that. Don't let that stress you. Because you have to try these things. Try different papers, try different textures, try different colors, and see what it is that you personally like. And you won't know until you actually start to try. See, I like these abstract shapes in my colors, but not everybody does. A lot of people want it all completely blended. I like the abstract shapes. Oh, that's a pretty stencil. So you have to try different papers, different shapes, different combinations of colors, and see what it is that you personally like. This is just, again, another piece of craft paper. You know how you can buy those nice, big, thick pads? They're very affordable in the department stores. This one is less thicker than the cardstock. Now that took a very boring piece of cardstock and created something far more interesting and fun. I find that pattern quite exciting, and it works well for the theme that I'm working on towards my project. As you can see, it didn't quite use up the whole space of the gel plate. Not stressed, doesn't matter. I'm going to use this. This looks like an end piece of a rice paper. You know, you really can try all sorts of different textured papers. So how's your beautiful backgrounds going that you created before? Are they nice and dry? This one's dry. It's just on plain copy paper, and I'm going to put a stencil on it. So it's had one layer of iridescent copper on ordinary copy paper. So now I'm putting this beautiful mix of the deep violet and the deep madder onto the plate, and I'm going to try this is my other favorite stencil. This one is called Patina and Lace. I do know that much. So I'm going to put that down. Straight on the plate, paper down, give it a bit of a rub. Make sure it gets into all of those areas of the stencil. Righto, so that printed okay. It's not like my favorite, but it is okay. Gets things moving along. Nice colors, they'll work. Sometimes, if you're a little crazy like me, and you put on too much paint, your backgrounds will take a little longer to dry. But rest assured, they will dry. So I'm going to use, I'm loving this stencil at the moment. It looks like a wallpaper that I remember from my childhood. I know, kind of weird, right? I might and put this one. And this one looks really Moroccan. So there's the background. I'm thinking that these patterns really suit these particular colors. I'm giving it a little bit of extra pressure with this second brayer, just so it gets into all those beautiful shapes of the stencil and absorbs all of that gorgeous metallic paint. I love the metallic paints, especially with these warm tones of colors. All right, let's see what we've got. Oh yeah, that's beautiful, printed well. The colors are gorgeous. See how I've got a dark background and a lighter print. I like that. I like the dramatic contrast. I think these colors work with the particular design of this stencil. So that's pretty nice. Of course, I can get a little more dramatic with the darker colors. That will probably happen. Now I'm going to put all of that paint onto, I think I'm going to put it onto this one. See how this background's quite abstract? It's got lots of different shapes. I didn't blend it. I like it like that. I'm going to see what this rich copper and bronze looks like over the top of these gorgeous tones. Now remember, if it doesn't work, don't get stressed out. You're making collage paper. Be okay. You're only going to rip it up anyway. Got to try your different ideas. Ooh, that actually turns out better than I thought it would. Look at that. That's the copper and the bronze. After the first stencil print was taken, that's what's left on the plate. And that looks absolutely gorgeous. Don't you think that's Moroccan? Yeah. Now I've got a lighter background this time. That one's the copper with maybe a little bit of red in it. So I'm going to create something a little more dramatic in color. I do still have the copper and the bronze on my plate and on my roller, and that is perfectly fine. It all matches in beautiful, which is the joy of printing all these colors that work well together. You get these nice blends. I think I'll try this one up here, and I might put this one again here. I like this one. See how we go. This is just on standard copy paper. Give it a little bit of pressure with the brayer so the paint's absorbed from all of those beautiful shapes of the stencil. Ooh, that's quite dramatic. That's very nice. I like those shapes. The colors work beautiful and they'll mix well with my other designs. Of course, the trouble is, once you start, it's really hard to stop. It can become quite addictive, creating the gel prints. Just beautiful. And that looks absolutely beautiful. So that's the beautiful bright copper on a darker background with the rose madder and the deep violet. So that's the background and that's on top, and it just looks glorious. Here's some of my beautiful prints from today's jelly print session. I absolutely love them. I love the colors, I love the textures and the shapes. I'm going to use them for collage paper in a project that I'm working on at the moment, which I can't wait to show you. Thanks for watching. I hope you've been inspired, and I hope you try these colors and textures yourself. Have courage, try out some different ideas, and let's make art.